Are you a beginner worried about being slow in a go-kart? Were all of your friends faster than you last time you went to the track? Then this video is for you. In this video, we're going to be covering 5 beginner tips that are essential to making you fast on a go-kart track. If you follow these tips, I'll guarantee you won't end up in a video like this one. The first thing that you're going to want to work on is finding the racing line of the track. Now, the racing line is the fastest way to navigate your way around the track, and it's going to involve 2 things. 1 is keeping the speed of the kart at a maximum, and 2 is minimizing the distance that you're driving the kart around the track. Once you find the happy compromise of these 2 things, you're going to be putting down super fast lap times. Let's go through a few quick examples of this so you know exactly what I'm talking about, so you could learn how to do this for yourself. To start out, I'm actually going to show you what a bad line would look like, and then give you an idea of what you could do to be faster. Now I'm going to go over this with a green pencil to put a better line on the track and go over what you should look for when you're trying to put down a really clean, fast racing line at a go-kart track. Alright, so here are 2 lines that are pretty common to see around a go-kart track. The red line is a much more typical beginner line for someone who's not comfortable pushing the karts and carrying a lot of speed around the turns. This is not the way that you want to drive a track to get the fastest times out of it. The reasons for that is by doing this, you're not using all the space that you could around the track, meaning that you're taking tighter turns than you need to, and tighter turns are slower turns because you can't carry as much speed with the kart. Also, by staying right in the middle of the barriers, in some cases you're going to be taking a longer route than if you took a line like this green one, which is straight. Looking at the benefit of taking a line more like the green one, you can see that through these tight areas here, we're taking a much wider turn with a bigger radius. Again, a bigger radius turn will allow you to carry more speed through it. Also, it's important to think that out of turns like this, you have a long straightaway that you want to get onto with as much speed as possible. You'll also notice that the green line gets much closer to the inside barriers of the track. Once again, this is to cut some distance off of the track and allow you to take a nice smooth flowing line while making the biggest radiuses that you could, while also getting as close to the barriers to minimize that distance. Every track is going to have a fine balance of this to put together the fastest time, but in general, you want to be taking wide lines to keep your speed up and minimizing distance wherever possible. Tip number 2, get all of your braking done as a beginner in a straight line. The reason you want to do this is each tire only has a certain percentage of grip that it could use. For example, you could use 100% of your tire's grip to turn, you could use 100% of your tire's grip to brake, or you could use a combination of the 2. Once you start doing a combination of the 2, it can't do either as well as if it were doing one by itself. For this reason, you want to get your braking done in a straight line before you get to the corner. The reason for this is if you carry too much speed in mid-corner, you're not going to be able to stay on the racing line, and if you try to brake at this point and you brake too hard, most rental karts only have rear brakes, which could cause you to spin because the rear end will start to step out on you. Now, you will want to work up to your braking zones. For example, start out by braking a little bit too early and then easing off the brake and trying to carry as much speed as you could through the turn, rather than carrying in too much speed going past the apex of the turn, because this will actually slow you down and cost you more time. Now, if you've done a little bit of karting before, you're probably saying, I know there are ways to be faster if I'm braking while I'm turning just a little bit. And there are, but we'll get into that in a different video. If you're a beginner, once again, just focus on braking in a straight line, carrying as much speed as you could into the turn, and then turning in and negotiating your way through the turn. Tip number 3, focus on smooth driving. If you're driving a kart and you're sawing at the wheel aggressively and you're stabbing the throttle or stabbing the brakes, it's going to upset the balance of the kart and make it so the tires can't do their job as well. To get around this and to get the most grip out of your kart, you should be smooth on the wheel, smooth on and off the throttle, and smooth on and off the brake. Smooth controlled motions will make the tires grip better than if you're doing things sporadically and very, very quickly. Of course, as you get better, you'll be able to know how late you could brake, how early you could get on the gas, and how you could toss karts into corners. But to start out, just focus on being smooth and it'll help your lap times get better. Things to think about while trying to drive your kart smoothly is rental karts tend to hop a lot if you're carrying too much speed through the turn. I'll show a clip of that right now, but you'll literally feel the kart sort of jumping as you're going through a turn. And that means your tire is rapidly gripping and losing grip, and this is actually slowing you down. If you feel that, you need to carry a little bit less speed into the turn a little bit less aggressively, and just find ways to allow the kart to balance itself out, and it will mean that you're going to be going through that section faster, even if it doesn't feel like it. Once again, driving smoothly also applies to your braking, not just your turning and not just getting onto the gas. By easing onto the brake pedal, you'll be able to find the point where your rear wheels will start to lock up, and then you'll know that you could brake that hard, but just a tiny bit less. You don't want to lock up your wheels because if you lock them up, you have a lot less braking force and you won't be able to slow down as fast. Number 4. If you get passed by someone that's significantly faster than you, you might get discouraged at first. But this is actually a great opportunity to see how a faster driver is negotiating the track. Even though if they're significantly faster, they might get away from you quick, try to get behind them and try to stick with them. Try to copy where they're getting on power, where they're braking, try to follow their line around the track, and by doing this, you'll be able to learn what works and how to be faster around the track. Of course, other people's techniques might not necessarily work for you, but if you're a beginner, following someone that is already doing very fast lap times will help you learn and help you improve. Again, don't get discouraged because some people spend so much money and so much time at kart tracks that they're going to be very, very hard to beat, and the best thing to do is have fun and try to learn from them. And that brings me into number 5, the last tip to be fast in a go-kart as a beginner. And that is go out there and have fun. Of course, it's fun to be competitive and try to set the fastest lap times, but as soon as you get discouraged because you're not fast or you get angry that other people are faster than you, it's probably going to throw you off. You're not going to be able to concentrate as well, and you're not actually going to be able to drive as well as if you just stay calm, drive your laps, and have a good time. Once again, there are people that spend so much money on this stuff, so much time on this stuff, that they'll be almost untouchable, and the best thing to do is learn from them and have fun with them. You could always make new friends and ask them, hey, how are you driving this? Because I want to get better myself. And more than likely, they'll be happy to share that information with you. So have fun, make new friends, and remember, it's all about just having a good time. With all that, that is going to wrap up this video. Don't forget to like it if you enjoyed it. Subscribe for more. I could do plenty more driving tips videos that will help you out. I could do more advanced tips to show you how to improve even more once you get these basics down. And overall, I think there's a lot of content on my channel that you would enjoy.